Jennifer and Sarah. Go ahead, ladies.
Well, thank you, Deb. Welcome everyone to Got Loom, making full use of new innovative features in Loom to support students with communication disorders. Sarah and I are really excited to present this webinar today since we use Loom. There's Zoom and there's Loom. We're on Zoom to teach you how to use Loom. How's that? So without further ado, do you feel like this? Teachers trying to keep up with virtual teaching, parent emails, virtual department meetings, virtual school-wide meetings, their own children and the coronavirus, etc. And then there's Ross from Friends saying, "I'm fine," in my squeaky voice. I thought that was hilarious, and that's how I feel some of the times with everything that we need to do to support students and other teachers lately. Anybody else feel that way? Raise your hand or put it in the chat. I don't have the chat up because Sarah
I do.
Okay, cool. All right, or maybe you feel like this. Just done, overwhelmed. You have 3, 4 children at home and you're trying to teach from home and be the parent from home, and you're tired and you're busy and you're at the end of your rope. Well, I want to tell you today that Loom is a great time saver for you. Especially for things like having to repeat messages or reminders or announcements, and really get through the screen and be able to reach those students with communication disorders. Okay, so what is Loom? Here, I'm going to show you a video I created. There we go.
Hey guys, it's Jennifer Courduff, Dr. Jennifer Courduff, again from Azusa Pacific University. And today I want to create a Loom video to tell you about Loom. Yay! If I can't tell you about Loom using Loom, then why should I tell you about Loom at all? So here's the deal, guys. Loom Pro is free for teachers. So I'll show you the website right there. You can Google Loom Pro free for teachers, and I'll provide the link in the newsletter as well, so don't worry about it. And then you sign up you get your account verified by putting in your school email. They have to know that you're a teacher or a professor, and you put in your school email. They send an email to your school email. You verify that, and then you have Loom Pro free forever. That's what's so great about it. It's not just free for, I don't know, till COVID ends, which might be a long time anyway, but it's free forever. You have the account forever. And what I love about Loom is that I can record my screen and a picture of myself, because my students really appreciate seeing me and seeing the mistakes I make, because then they can be human too and make some mistakes, and it's fine. And I can show them the application I want to explain, and I can just show them, I can just take a video of me, I can take a video of just the screen, or I can take a video of me and the screen. And when I'm done recording, I just turn it off, I get a link, I put the link into Canvas or Google Classroom or whatever LMS I happen to be using at the time, and you're golden. It's so simple. You can also create different folders in your Loom account. So I have a folder for assistive technology videos. I have a folder for encouragement videos, how-to videos, capstone videos. Just you can classify and organize them so they're not just a mess of videos everywhere. So you'll do that. Here's the Loom account. If I want to do a new video, I would simply click new video, and it would start the video just like you see with me in the corner. But I'm not going to shut it off now, because for added benefit, I want to show you how to enable dictation from right within the operating system on your laptop. Now I'm going to demo it on a Mac laptop because I am a Mac person. Sorry, PC people. But it's just, you can do it on a PC. It's just as easy. You would need to Google that because it follows a somewhat different order, not too much, but enough that it might frustrate you. So here's what you do. You go to the little Apple icon in the corner or to your system preferences on your PC. go into system preferences. See that? All this glory comes up. Then we're going to find keyboard.
Okay, so it doesn't really show you that, so I'm going to show you that. Ready? So I go into Apple. I go into System Preferences. I go into Keyboard. I go way over here to Dictation. I turn Dictation on, and then I have to press the FN key twice to enable dictation. Why is this important? Because you're sitting in front of a computer or a Chromebook or a laptop for a long time these days. And so one of the time-saving tips and one of the ways that you can also communicate with your students is to use this feature. I know this is a little bit outside of our presentation, but it's really worth knowing about. So I do that, and then I go into my Word document. That's the syllabus I'm working on. So just to open something new, just to show you real quick. So you can go into, I'll go into this Word document, and I just hit the function key. Well, it's going to spin. So,
Jennifer, all we're seeing on the screen is the Loom video.
oh, okay. Well, that's weird. It's not. Okay. So let's go back then to the presentation. I will record a video on how to do that and send it out with this presentation, okay? Or were there any questions at this point?
I sent out the link to the PDF because that was a question.
Okay.
That has been it so far.
Okay. So you will have the ability to review this presentation when it's done because it's being recorded. But now once you get the Loom account, here's my recommendations for you. I never used video until COVID at all because I don't like the way I look on the screen, and I am a perfectionist, so I didn't want to do it over and over and all of those things that we all feel as teachers. But then I thought about it, and I think, when you go into the classroom and you're teaching your students face to face, if you make a mistake, you don't kick everybody back out and bring them back in and redo it. You never do that. If you make a mistake, you self-correct. So what I started doing is just looking at the little green dot. So opening up Loom, looking at the little green dot that comes up on your computer, and talking to your students on the other side of your computer. And you don't need to be perfect. In fact, they don't want you to be perfect. They want you to be yourself.
Well, and that's really important when dealing with kids of any age, really, because if you think about it, when you're teaching in the classroom to any kids on any level, they see you make mistakes. I made spelling mistakes on the board, and my students would so politely, which is a joke, call me out on it. But it was important that they see that I make mistakes, especially those kids that don't raise their hands to answer questions because they are scared to be shamed by other students in the classroom. You need to be open about your mistakes. And by doing that on a video and making a mistake, you aren't perfect, especially in this day and age where everyone is pre-recording everything on Instagram and Snapchat or whatever kids are using for social media. Everything has to be perfect. And we need to show them we're still living a real life, and you don't want it to be perfect, and you want to make a mistake because the process of learning is about making mistakes.
Right. And the first videos I created, I did review because I noticed that I look up when I'm thinking and I like to shake my head a lot. And so I had to correct those little habits and really look directly into the camera on my laptop. And that was very helpful. But now I just make the video and I click the link and I'll send it to students as a course announcement. I do feedback to students using Loom. I do funny little videos to encourage them using Loom. I do screen shares to record on my laptop how they do something in Canvas or how they do something in the program they're working on. And with your kiddos, that's really important. And then I'm going to share in a minute about ways you can help those other students. Okay, how do I use it? Astrid just went over that. Video announcements. Just real quick so you can see what I did.
Hey, everybody. Welcome
Welcome
to,
to the really last class.
welcome to the really last class. This is Autumn. She's wearing my tam, and this is McKenna, and she's wearing my beach hat sometimes. But here, get in there, get in there. Go. So we are very, very excited that you are in the last class at APU, and pretty soon, in 8 short weeks or so, you're gonna wear a funny hat too. And we are just here to let you know from Dr. Courduff and Autumn and McKenna how proud we are of you and how much we know you're gonna do hard work this term. Huh, McKenna? Huh, Autumn?
Yes.
Do you do hard work at your class?
Yes.
What do? You read.
I read my cipher books.
Yeah, she does, and she does math. Yeah, and she sees her kindergarten friends in little boxes like we have to see each other right now. And McKenna's getting antsy, but here we go. Okay, here's her great term, everybody. See you soon.
So that's just two of my grandkids, and I use them when they come over because my students really enjoy seeing them. Okay, this is how I help explain an assignment
hello,
using
everybody.
screen capture.
I want to do a quick overview of the expectations of what you're going to be working on this week in your second set document. Remember, it's student, environment, task, tool. This week, you're going to focus on the environment. As a reminder, this last week, you focused on the student. You listed strengths and weaknesses in the following areas, and then based on those weaknesses, you created a plan for each one of the areas of challenge and thought about tasks, strategies, continuing barriers, and new or additional assistive technology that you might be able to try. I will be grading those as soon as your team submits them. Remember, again, the more information, the better for each part of the set. So this week, you're going to learn, you're going to look at the set.
Okay, so this is a 4-week assignment where the students are learning to use the set framework by Dr. Joy Zabala as a piece of identifying tasks and tools to help students with disabilities. I don't have my face there, I just have my picture, but I show them the activity and I explain it. And the power of that is that it's recorded, so they can go back and listen to it as many times as they want, which cuts down on my time having to explain things over and over again. So that's a powerful time saver for you. I show them how to use different programs.
You can see my face, but you also see the website that I want to explain, okay? So we can look at all of the various great ideas that this teacher has on her Pinterest page. She has 3,000 followers, great for collaboration, motivation.
So in this instance, I'm showing them a Pinterest site for teletherapy. And then also I decided to use video on my face because sometimes I think they just really need to see expression because it puts a human face to it. Doesn't take long to do these, really doesn't. And then demo certain programs for students and also demo programs that the students need to use, but create videos demoing those for parents. Because that's really important too. Encouragement, humor, and community. That's, students really appreciate that. So here's a real quick one.
Hey everybody, welcome to week 6. Yeah, I guess it's International Wear a Beach Hat Day. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I just felt like I needed to wear a beach hat because, well, sometimes you just have to see your professor in a beach hat. I mean, what better thing is there in life than that, right? No, I'm kidding, but yeah, I do today. Anyway, week 6. Yay. We have
So this one's pretty long, but I often wear different hats. I wear my beach hat. I wear my tam. I try to lighten it for them because everybody is incredibly burdened right now with all the work that has to go on. So
We
now
do
we're
have a
gonna-
question.
Yeah.
Is this purely web-based or available as a desktop app / mobile app?
It is a mobile app. It is browser based. So I have Loom. I can use Loom through Firefox or through Chrome. They work best that way. And I can also use a Loom as an app on my iPhone.
So there
So-
is an actual app.
Yes, there is an actual app and it works brilliantly.
All right, that was the question. I hope that answers your question.
Any other questions while we're stopped? Okay, so I love this cartoon, grade 1. Somewhere on it, it says, why isn't there technology? But I
Isn't
think-
there an app for this?
Oh, is there an app for this? I guess I'm not seeing it because of the toolbar at the bottom. But if you can teach parents how to do many things to support their children using Loom. And okay, you might be saying there's other video creation, there's Camtasia, and there are other things that I can do. I can just use the video on my phone or in my operating system. Yeah, that's true. And Blackboard has Kaltura and Canvas we use Loom in Canvas. But what I love about Loom is that when you do the video, you get a link. And then you can put the link into an email, into a LMS, into an announcement, into Google Classroom, wherever you want to do it. It is by far the easiest video creation program that I have ever used. And I tell you, I didn't use it until COVID hit. So you can Loom students who are virtual. You can have them talk about something they made or did, or show something that they made or learned. Sarah, you had some other ideas.
Yes. So especially when you're talking about younger students, preschool, kindergarten, elementary, like we were saying, it's really important that they see your face. And I know all over the country right now, virtual learning or in-person learning, it all looks different. I have a friend who is all in person out here in Dallas County, and they're stretched super thin, and we pack classrooms. There's no cap in 5th grade, as I'm sure there are in other areas. And how do you get to all those kids? Or when you're teaching online and at home? Loom is great because you record yourself and send it out to your kids, and they still get to see you. I don't know if anybody has ever taken a class where it's purely online and you just click the buttons. I did in biology, and I don't think I remember anything about my biology class because there was nobody. I didn't feel like there was anybody holding me accountable. And when your teacher is there and you see his or her face, I feel like there's somebody there cheering you on and holding you accountable, and you can still teach. In the lower grades, it's also read alouds are extremely powerful. And I know if you're using, a lot of people are using Zoom as a platform to teach whole group or small group right now to their virtual learners. But Zoom is also nice when you want to send out a read aloud. You're just reading from your daily novel or a book. You can record yourself reading the book and send it out. And it's not a YouTube video of somebody else's teacher. It's you, their own teacher, and you're making a more personal virtual connection with your students. I was brainstorming ideas, just thinking about especially kindergarteners and even 5th graders who need to see the book, see the text. You can upload, scan in pages of your book, and you can use Loom so they can see the pages as you're reading it, and they can see your little tiny face in the corner. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about being able to, or I think Jennifer, you are, a little bit about using read, write, think, possibly, if I said that right, to annotate over your text. I know when I was in 5th grade, we were teaching our students how to find the main idea of a text, and you can be using Loom and you can be modeling with Loom when you're doing, an I do, we do, you do method. The I do part can be you on Loom, pre-recorded. Here's me, I'm writing all over my screen essentially on my page that I've uploaded, or if the text, so many texts now are available online, you can have them in your Loom video, record over it and send it out. So your kids can be learning whenever, or doing this as an independent activity or whatever, whenever they need to. And I just, same thing for talking about something that they made or did, the students can come back to you learning or using Loom. You can, just like Jennifer did, you can make a Loom as a teacher to teach your students and their parents at home how to use Loom. And it's so simple that, I mean, a kindergartner, a first grader, a second grader, whatever, all they need to do is see it one time. And you know that they're going to know that technology so much better than you ever will. And they can make a Loom of themselves showing you, oh, here's my math problem. This is how I got the answer for, or this is how I got this grouping. They can, since it's available as a mobile app, they can use it to record using their parent's phone or tablet or whatever school device that they've been given. And they can talk, they can just talk with their voice. They can show with the video. They can, maybe they've drawn something on their iPad or other tablet using, you know, a paint feature, showing groupings, talking about math, and they're able to screen share that on Loom and send that to their teacher. And teachers are able to get better assessments of their students when they're able to go through maybe all these Loom videos, just like you would in person in the classroom using an exit ticket format. You can be using Loom in that way with all of your students and your little ones, all even 3 and 4-year-olds. You'll be amazed. I have a 2-year-old, and she knows how to push all the buttons on her app that she has her learning time with. And she figured that out after one day. And so I think that would be great for those kids to be able to take ownership of their learning and show that to their teachers.
Yeah. Great.
Real quick, we have one question.
Yeah.
And I think you may talk about this later. Is there a way to caption the videos to create a basic transcript?
Okay, so that's forthcoming in Loom, and I've reached out to the developers several times now. On their website, they say it's forthcoming. They're working on closed captioning and transcription. However, it's not available yet. I'm pushing a little bit to them because that's not ADA compliant. They should already have closed captioning and transcription available, but they don't. They're working on it. So the way to solve that at this point would be to post your Loom video into YouTube, because YouTube generates closed captioning and YouTube generates a transcript. You would just, because of privacy issues, if you were to do that, I would suggest that you upload your video to your own YouTube account and mark it private, and then run the closed captioning and the transcription, and then take it down. So you can present your video from Loom and the YouTube transcription alongside of it, but not keep it in YouTube. Only because if you're working with a student with a severe disability and you don't want to break FERPA laws at all or any other laws. So that's the way, that's the workaround at this point. I hope that answers your question. Not the best solution, but a solution. So the title of this presentation is Loom for Students with Communication Disorders. And I have spoken with many speech language pathologists and others, experts in special education within our field. And one thing that is really encouraging, guys, is that some students are actually flourishing in online more than they were ever flourishing in face-to-face. Some of our kiddos with severe communication disorders are really, students with autism are really loving just the screen time, because they get to see their teacher and they're not having to be distracted by other students in the room. They really enjoy it. One of the ways that Loom can be worked with is to, you provide a social story for a goal, like a communication or behavior goal. Say the goal is saying please and thank you for a very simple one. You could create a Loom video of you and another student, or you and somebody in your family, that demonstrates that behavior. and send it to the student and the parents so that they can watch it over and over again. The other side of that coin is that parents and students can practice those behaviors recording in Loom and then send them to the teachers. So that's one way. Kids love to see themselves on the screen. Most kids, some kids really hate it, but most kids actually really love the video creation, and they respond very well to be able to be in charge of their own learning that way. Social settings, kind of that was more of the please and thank you thing, but you can also use that with how we greet people or how we sit at the table or whatever the IEP goal is that you're working on for that day. Some are working on AAC goals, so to be able to use their AAC device, and that becomes pretty challenging through a computer because the teacher can't see the AAC device through a camera. But I have spoken with some really creative teachers that are actually recording how to manipulate through the device using Loom and then sending it to the parents. Because as you know, and I want you to know, everyone I have talked to feels this way, at this point, SLP teachers are becoming more coaches than teachers. They're coaching parents because the parents are the one, if you're virtual, that are having to work with the students. And sometimes that is just fabulously successful, and other times it is really challenging. I'm in California and we are on complete lockdown and have been since March. So if I talk too much about virtual, it's because I'm living the dream here in my house every day. So if you work with a speech language student with articulation goals, you can have them record themselves practicing. As you saw, my little granddaughter Autumn is in speech and she's learning how to articulate. She's great with understanding, but her articulation is a challenge and has been. So we work with her and she loves to create little videos of herself. So that's a way she can practice her articulation goals and send them to her teacher, and her teacher can respond, or the teacher can provide a video on how the mouth should look for a certain goal and send it to the family so they can practice at home. With masks, it becomes increasingly challenging for working on articulation goals because you can't see their mouth. And if you wear one of those plastic shields that's see-through, it gets all foggy. And so people are not really enjoying that at all. So this is a way that you could use Loom to practice a goal without wearing a mask, because you're safe in your home and they're safe in their home, and then they can see that happening. And I know you can do it in Zoom as well, but screen time with Zoom after so many minutes becomes exhausting. And so this is a way to still give them that direct instruction and that access to you in Loom without making them sit there for teletherapy for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. You can just do very short little 15-second videos that they can go back to, walk away and go back to, because they also need to get up and wiggle, as we all know. Expression goals, the same thing. They can really work on their expression by read alouds. You can model that for them by using Loom, or as Sarah mentioned, just reading a book aloud to them and working on those expression goals that way too. So questions before we continue?
I wanted to touch on one thing before we moved on. The Loom app, it is only available as an iOS app currently, not in the whatever the other one, Android devices are. There's a fake Loom app out there for Android, so please don't download that. So your options are to either use it as a Chrome extension, a desktop app, or an iOS app currently.
Yeah, and it works on tablets as well, and it works in Chromebooks as well. So it's kind of device agnostic, except for no app for Android devices.
Yes, I think it's I think it's coming. There was a button to select, like, please let me know when it comes out, but currently just available for Apple products as an actual app.
Okay, so for your higher functioning kids, they can, again, one of the things that needs to happen is kids need to get up out of their seats. So if you are able to demonstrate how to use Loom to parents and they have access to an iPhone or something where they can move around and film, they can show what they know in Loom. They can explain how they did something, and those follow along with a lot of those expression goals. You want to be able to clearly articulate articulation and expression goals where you clearly articulate what you're explaining. So that's a good one. As a reciprocal teaching tool, kids really learn skills when they teach those skills to others. So if you have a student that just learned how to tie their shoes or learned how to say a 3-word sentence, and you have them film that in Loom and send it to the teachers, you can give them a lot of kudos for that. Another idea is to create a virtual field trip, and you're like, what? Well, okay, so you have this social studies skill that the student has to learn, and part of it is part of their writing goal or a reading goal. And it's hard to visit anywhere here in California right now, but in other states where you're a little bit less locked down, the family could go to a mission or go to a historical site, and the parents could film the student giving the students in their class a virtual field trip of that site, or the day we went to the aquarium, and make tiny little Loom videos of the things that they learned in the aquarium, or the day we went to the mountains, or if you're studying biomes, or the day we went to the ocean, if you're studying sea life or that biome. So there's a lot of ways that you can turn the camera around on the student, get them up out of the chair, and really start learning things differently, because one of the things we really need to do is have kids get up. And finally, at the beginning of a year, it's always nice to do an about me. You do those worksheets typically, but now you can do a video, and for each student can do a little about me video and say, this is my house, this is my room, this is what I love to do. Because one of the things that COVID has brought that's really kind of amazing is we're in each other's homes now with Zoom, with that virtual instruction. Teachers are in students' homes and students are in teachers' homes. If the teachers are working from home in a completely different way. So a lot of understanding of how much we didn't know about what happens in families when kids are not in school is pretty incredible. I've heard some stories that would make you completely laugh, like toddlers running across the background of a student completely naked and just escaping, and other things happening with family members or cats or dogs in the camera that they'd never meant to happen. So it's an interesting world. Sarah, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I wanted to comment on higher functioning kids, like your gifted students and those that might be a little bit more advanced who are struggling at home because they're not able to meet in a small group with their teacher or to have an activity that's more advanced. These kids, just like your students who are falling behind, your students that can't push ahead are going to get bored. They're going to check out. My students, when I taught in a gifted classroom, checked out every year in December. Every year my scores went down with them because they checked out. And it was always a struggle to find a way to encourage them to dig deeper. And part of the challenge with students who are gifted and are higher functioning is they need to be challenged in their area of expertise and just in general. And I think when you have them create a video of explaining how they did something, not just, oh, this is like, here's my assignment, it actually breaking down into detail how they came up, just like you do in math with their answer. And you can do that in all subject areas. It's going to take them time. You might create a process for them that says, this is what I want you to do to explain how you did something, and it's going to take them time, and they can use a video. They can use different apps that they have on their tablet if they're going to screen share, or if they're doing something paper and pencil, if that's their, cup of tea. They're still using a piece of technology to get to you to show your video. I also think just
Well, Sarah? Huh. That's interesting. Okay, we'll get Sarah back on as soon as she becomes available. And I don't even know what the rest of her thought was, so I can't. Oh, there she is.
okay, yeah, my internet apparently was unstable. That was weird.
Okay, so you got to repeat some stuff.
Good old internet.
Okay.
I was just saying that having them record use Loom to record a video of them actually teaching a concept to the class. Use your higher functioning kids to do some of the teaching. I think that would be very powerful for them to retain what they know. Just like in the classroom, you might use student A to teach student B something they don't know. Or, hey, student A, I need you to go help this other student with their assignment.
So like a partnership. I was also thinking about buddy classrooms where you have students from you have students that you're pushing in or pulling out to a classroom. You can buddy them up with a general ed kid and really do some creative work that way. Poor Sarah, internet. Internet is hard. There is no tired like distance learning teacher tired. That is the truth. So when I was trying to find a few other resources for you, so dance videos, this is an interesting one. I Googled it. This is adaptive dance. It's a Pinterest page. And because they have to get up and move, it's really important. So this is included as a link in our presentation. There is a huge presence in Pinterest, and you can find in Google on all kinds of things that you can do from home or together. There's tons of videos everywhere for how to do them. There's a social time link here, I think is great. Free educational resources and fun activities to help your kiddos navigating COVID-19. So when your student has a disability, and social stories to help them understand COVID, transition skills during COVID, all kinds of just really, really great activities here. Kansas, academic activities, arts and crafts, math, miscellaneous, music and movement, reading and story time. And again, what I would do, speech language, is tons of stuff here. But what I would do is I would create a video of this for the parent to say, this is some great things you can do while you're at home to have your child get up and move, and have a virtual ride at Disneyland in YouTube, and all kinds of great things here. Social emotional learning, speech language things. It's just a great, really robust site. So I thought I'd share that with you. And while I'm in here, here's my Loom account. So after I made this video, I copied the link and then I can put it anywhere. Just so you see how it's organized. That's a great way to end that video. I have how-to videos, other assistive tech, capstone, encouragement, and then videos that I still haven't classified yet necessarily, but yeah, there's a lot of them. And there's even more within the folders where they're supposed to be. So Sarah, can you see my screen right here?
Yes, it says personal library.
So this is how you record a video. Okay, I'm gonna live demo it. Stop me if it doesn't come through right, okay? So I hit record a video, screen and camera, or just screen, or just camera. I'm just gonna do camera right now, right? Then I say, do I look pretty enough? I look okay, yeah, well. It's a warm day here in California today. 3. Hello, everybody. And so I am recording my video right now for you. And I'm just looking into the little green dot and talking to you because I think it's important for us to communicate. And I think it's important for you to remember that Loom is amazing and will really cut down on your time and will cut down on the amount of repeating yourself that you have to do and will actually free you up to teach more creatively. I do feedback through Loom because my fingers start hurting after typing for a while, and I just love doing it. And that's all I have to say about that right now. So I'm going to hit the check mark. It's going to generate, there it is, there's my video.
Hello, everybody. And so I am recording my video right now for you. And I'm just looking into the little green dot and talking to you because I think it's.
So then I would go copy link and I would copy it to however I wanted to send it. If you created a team library, you could copy it to the library. So if you're working in collaboration with other teachers and you're gonna break up information for your team, everybody does a couple of videos, then you could put together a team library and have a repository of videos that are already done. And what's nice about it is you can use those over and over again, the videos. I tend to personalize mine and, you know, talk about something that happened in the news or talk about something that, you know, is important within the context of the term. So I always have to redo them, but I like redoing them. Another way to use Loom, because kids tend to like working on the computer, and for kids that are motivated by that, you can have them do a non-preferred activity in a preferred way. So the preferred way would be to use Loom or to use the computer, whatever the non-preferred activity is, to tell a story, tell a story and then write it down. Dwayne, you have a question.
Where do you see that?
It came up on my.
Oh, there is a question that I was going to read to you as soon as you finished this brain break.
Okay. So social time, a non-preferred activity in a preferred way. Those are always, if you want to motivate your kids to do something that they absolutely don't want to do it through something that they're interested in doing. Also, you could brain break activities, have them do an art project and film it at the end. As I said, PE, dancing, moving, it's really important. And music, listening to music or singing or creating your own little band, classroom band, anything that will help them to get that brain break that they need. Okay, Sarah.
Yes, so there's a question about how much space do you have to store your videos? And I actually wanted to touch on this before the end of the presentation. When you get Loom for Educators, which is Loom Pro, which is free for all educators, you get unlimited videos. You get a 45-minute video recording length. You get unlimited viewers. You have a shared library if you want to share with a team in your school. You have lots of other like recording features. And I know that if you have just regular Loom, if you were to not be using a free Educator account for some reason, I think your videos are limited to 5 minutes.
Yes.
And
100 videos, right? For 5 minutes.
It's something, yes. But if you have any sort of, and there, I think if you don't have an email, a school email address, I think you can contact them and they will help you out. There's a Q&A on their website that says you can, I think you can just go ahead and reach out to them and they will help you with that.
Well, that is our presentation. Does anyone have any other questions or want to share ideas or ask for an idea?
Or if anyone wants to try to create a Loom and has questions, this would be a good time to kind of get into the program and see if there's something that you don't understand, or creating that link. Maybe you create a short video real quick.
Yeah.
Make sure if you're looking for the Educator account that you type into your search browser Loom Pro or Loom for Educators, and that should come right up with the ability to create an account.
Yeah, you register just as a regular user and with your school or work email, and then you, once they send you an email to that account, you verify that that account is active, and then they just automatically upgrade you to Pro. Is the way.
Yes, and if you have, if you're waiting in the meantime, you can get a Loom business account. That's what they call it, I guess, as well. You can get in a 14-day free trial. And then, you know, if you don't want it, then you still get Loom. And a 5-minute video, if you're working with little kids or you're doing speech communication, those sorts of things, a 5-minute video would be quite long enough, especially for little kids. You don't want to make a 45-minute video. You can make a lot of short videos and send those out, especially like when I was teaching a longer lesson, 20 minutes maybe, you can break up the lessons, 3-4 minutes. Here's what we're going to do now, you practice. Okay, and then here's the next video. It's better for your students anyway if you make shorter, numerous shorter videos than one big giant video and have them pause the video and go do what they need to do. That way they're working at a pace that's a little bit more manageable.
Yeah, you never want to create a video that's longer than 2-3 minutes. And I showed you videos that I ramble on for 10 minutes, and it's not the best practice. Sometimes I just get on a roll. It's much easier if you limit your videos, especially with little ones, to like 5 minutes, and then do a series of videos rather than just one long video, because people can only listen for so long, even if they're looking at you. All right, so Mary had a question on how to demo Loom for parents and students. Thank you, Mary, for that question. I would go into my browser here. I don't have to be on the Loom website. I can be on any website. So I'm going to be on GoNoodle. Okay, so here I am on GoNoodle. And I'm going to hit my Loom extension. This time I want to show the screen only, and I'm going to start recording. Now you have to hit what you're going to share, and then you share, and there's the 3, 2, 1 countdown. Hello, parents and students. So first I want to just show you GoNoodle because it's a really cool website and you can do a lot of great things with it. I'm kind of loving it lately, and it just disappeared. Okay, yay, internet. But I also want to show you how to use Loom. So I'm going into my Loom account here. Okay, and I would hit record a video. I don't think I can record a video while I'm recording a video. I think that's too much to ask, but I would record a video. The screen would come up giving me 3 choices, and I would take the video just like I am right now. And when I'm done, I hit check, and it gives me a little link I can copy, and then I'm done. Mary, did that help you?
And this will be, this presentation will be available later. It'll be uploaded to the YouTube channel. So you'll be able to watch again those videos if you needed some help with creating a Loom.
Yeah, Mary said, great, thanks. Yay, Mary, I'm glad I could help. Yeah, this whole presentation, like Sarah said, with the live links in it will be there for you to watch as many times as you need to, and write down our email addresses. As you know, we're here to help, not just in the webinar, but afterwards. So if you come up with questions or troubles, then just shoot us an email, and one of us will be glad to answer it for you. Or if you need an idea with something. Any final questions before or any requests before we stop the webinar?
think that's it.
Okay, well, a certificate of participation will be emailed to you by Deb a bit later. And then if you want to watch the recording of this, again, it's on the AbleNet YouTube channel. And we know that you have lots and lots of things that you need to be doing today. And so we appreciate the time you've spent with us. And we really hope that you find this useful for your kiddos and useful in your life. We really do, because we have found it a great help for us.
All right, and thank you very much, ladies. The certificate of attendance will come out in a post-webinar email, and you'll receive it tomorrow. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.